Today's video, we're going to talk about every single way that I know to start a coon dog. So I have a list that I made over about the past 20 minutes. It's got every possible way that I have seen, done, heard of, or even know of starting a coon dog that I could get squaws out of myself. Let's go ahead and let's start breaking some of these down. Let's talk about these. Number one is running with other dogs. Okay, so this is probably the biggest one. This is one that you hear about the most. This is the thing that the guys are going to tell you to do the absolute most. Put it with an older dog. Put it with dogs that run good. Whether you got good dogs to run with or not, that's solely on you to dictate. And you know, I heard in the podcast, if you're running with junk, you're going to have junk. So we have to really make sure when we're running with other dogs, we know the other dogs and what they're about and how they're running and making sure they're not ill and they're good pup starters, right? Now, another second one up here is going to be weight. Weight for age. And you hear it all over the place. I've seen guys do it all the time. I've done it. You know, it is weight for age. You put them out there on the tie out. You throw them out there in the kennel. And you just wait. 6, 8, 10, 12 months. Just wait for the dog to get old enough. And then you go to fool them with it. However you go to fool them with it. And if either it does something or it don't. Right? This would be another way to start a dog. Okay, so another way here to start a dog is take a dog, shove it in the woods. I've heard this one around the block. I have done this. I do this in my method of training along with other things. Shove the dog in the woods. Put the dog in the woods. Put the dog in the woods. Put the dog in the woods. Some guys are excessively extreme to the point to where that's the only training that their dog gets, right? So the only training that their dog gets is getting put into the woods, right? And if that dog trees a coon, it trees a coon. If it don't, it don't, right? We put them in the woods, put them in the woods, put them in the woods. So shoving a dog in the woods is another way to start a dog. Okay, so another one here is going to be handling first, get the hunt later. So I know I've done dogs this way. I know a couple people that do dogs this way. There's probably a lot of people that do dogs this way. And that is put a handle on the dog and a top to bottom handle on the dog. Get the handling sorted completely out. And then we go into figuring out what we do to start this dog, what we do to hunt this dog, etc., etc. So handling first, hunt second. Alright, so the next one here, imprinting, drags, cage, woods, right? So that's kind of the gist of it. Imprinting, drags, cage, woods. And we do it in this order. And we have them basically all trained up at the house before they ever get into the woods. And we get them out in the woods and bam. You know, we start putting together out there in the woods. Alright, so another way here we start dogs is showing cages. Okay, so I know a lot of guys. Show the cage, show the cage, show the cage, show the cage, show the cage. And that's what they do. Yeah, you can get a dog going this way. Show the cage, show the cage, show the cage, show the cage. And whatever shakes out of that bag, you know, just wait on the other end of it. I'm not knocking none of these ways because I know guys that have dogs that have started these ways and they've got dogs that tree coons, right? So some way, shape, or form, these all will work on some extent to some level, right? So showing the cage, just keep showing the dog a cage until eventually it starts treeing coons, right? Alright, so this one is going to be running drags. Okay, so a lot of my videos I talk about a dog can make the jump from drags to live, right? Live wild coons on its own. It's kind of a hard one to get done. I've started dogs this way just on the sheer fact of not having any live coons, right? And that is running drags, running drags, running drags. That's all basically that we have for the dog is to run drags for the dog. And we're hoping that it will bridge the gap, right? So that is another way that people start dogs. All right, so here is the next one here. And that is, oh, I have shoving it in the woods twice. So let's not cover that one again. Knocking coons down. So this will be the next one. knocking coons down. Now some guys will just get out in the woods, shining coons, and just knock coons down to a dog, and just keep knocking them down and knocking them down. And eventually the dog will roll over to wanting to get the coon, and it'll go start training them, and you go out there and knock them down, right? So just knocking coons down would be another way that people start dogs. Okay, so here's another way that people start dogs, and you can start dogs this way, is hunting them over feeders. So we have a feeder out, and we're just cutting over the feeder, and that's kind of what we maintain, and that's kind of where we're shaking it out from. How hard, easy, difficult, whatever you want to say that it is, that is just kind of based on the information you have about your feeder and when coons are on it and blah, 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 right? So this is definitely a way that we can get a dog to go ahead and get some coons treated. It's just cut it over feeders and until it starts treating coons, and then, you know, go from there. All right, so here is another one, and I've started dogs this way too, is roadkill and drags, right? And that's kind of go back to starting the dog with just drags, not having any coons, not having any dead coons, not having any coon scent, roadkill. Picking up roadkill, showing your dog roadkill, running drags with the roadkill, and hoping that the dog will make the leap and go ahead and get out there and treat its own coon. They will. How soon, long, how bad, good, whatever you want to take, you got to take into account the roadkill freshness, blah, blah, blah. Roadkill drags. Okay, so that's another one, man. Okay, so cutting onto fresh tracks. It's another way that you can get your dog started, is cutting onto fresh tracks. Seeing them cross the road, shining them in a field. We see them in a field, cut the dog and let them go. You know, anywhere that we know physically that we have seen a coon come through, and we can go put our dog on that track and cut the dog in the direction of the coon, and hopefully it shakes out, right? So this is another way that you can start a dog. Okay, so let the dog fight coons. Now, this has never been my thing. I know guys that have started dogs this way. I know guys that prefer to start dogs this way. Dumping coons out of cages right on the dog's head, pinning them up with the coons until they had enough of it, and then they end up killing the coon, and then it's like a whole thing, right? So starting them this way, I think this is probably the roughest way. I know guys that have done it, and I know guys this will be their last resort, and this is what they turn to make that final last ditch effort on a dog, and that is just flat out letting the dog fight the coon. All right, so another way that we can start dogs is cutting coons loose, right? So just having coons, cutting them loose, you know, show them to the dog. It's kind of like the cage and the cutting on fresh tracks thing, kind of balled up into one, but just cutouts until the dog is trained cutouts really good, right? We can shake whatever we want to shake out of these bags. I'm not knocking any of these, and I'm not suggesting any of these. I'm just telling you off the top of my head all the ways that I know of to go ahead and start a coon dog, right? The last one here, and this is, I've only seen this out of one person, and that would be tie a dog to another dog. So tying a dog to the dog, and cut to a dog that knows what it's doing, tying a dog up to that dog and cutting them out in the woods, and the big dog drag a dog through the woods and make it go. All right, so that's another way that people start dogs. But I want to clean it up. I wanted to open up the knowledge bank. If you guys have heard of another way outside of this, outside of paying somebody else to start your dog for you, if you know of another way to start a coon dog that I haven't had on this list, drop it in the comments. If you guys start a different way from what I just listed, drop it in the comments, and let's get a conversation going. Let's talk about these. Let me know what you think about any other one of these. I think this is the plethora bank of knowledge, and it's going to blow up. It's going to be the knowledge center. Everybody, let's hash this out. You know, I want to hear it. I want to see comments. I want to see your preferred method of these. Which guy you have been, which guy you switched from, blah, 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 right? Let's go ahead and talk these out and talk about these. And if there's some missing, plop them in the comments, and let's get this thing rolled out. Now, on to the shout-outs. Number one, we're going to shout out Justin Rotter. Justin Rotter, you had that comment about the shy pup. I tried commenting you back. I don't know whether you got it or not, I commented a pretty good sized comment. If you got the comment, then good on you. I can't see it on my end, right? So it says there's a reply. I click on it, it doesn't show up. But I was having this issue, here a while back. I don't know whether you got it or not. If you did not receive the comment, go ahead and comment again, and I will try to re-comment, right? I don't want to blow you up with a bunch of comments, because I did that to a couple people when this glitch happened a little while back. All right, so another one here is Travis Neese. Travis Neese, you are officially the newest subscriber here on the channel, and I greatly, greatly appreciate you coming in and checking out the content and subscribing up. Jeff Jackson, dude, you have been here for so long on this channel. We have conversed on emails, we have conversed on Facebooks, and you're in the Facebook group. If you guys haven't got that, I will link that down in the description. You posted in the Facebook group, Smoke's looking great, dude. I am really, really just flat out glad. I am so glad for you that you made something shake for that dog by watching these videos and putting your stuff together. You're out there. You're doing a great job. That dog's doing a great job. Keep up the good work, dude. Keep it up, right? And then Mike Parr. Mike Parr, it never fails, man. You are a pretty solid dude. You're on all the videos. You're in the Facebook groups. And you know what? Just a huge shout out to you. And I said this before in a video. Just put a little hashtag down here that permanently gives you a shout out, because thank you so much. And if you guys are on here and you guys are watching every single one of my videos, and maybe you haven't posted a comment, or maybe I haven't been able to give you a shout out yet, I'll just let you know right now, I greatly appreciate you guys, and I'm right here with you, man. You know what I mean? And if you guys ever are seeing something that, you disagree with, feel completely free to plop it in the comments. I'm not a hater. I don't mind. And I think being open book and open policy on this stuff is the best way to get through it at the end of the day. And you know what? Y'all deserve shout outs too. So shout out to all the no-name subscribers and the people that haven't commented yet. You know what? Shout out to all y'all. And then the last one here is going to be Reese Moore. So Reese Moore, you're another subscriber. I can't remember. I didn't bother going back and checking the 30-minute video or whatever it was to see if I gave you a shout out at the end. So maybe you got to double up. Maybe not. Big shout out to you, man. So there it is. That's going to wrap up every single way that I can possibly think of at this point in time on how to start a coon dog. Some of these I've used. A lot of these I've balled up together and put into my own method, right? And I didn't list my method on there because I don't want to be so conceited, like my method is a huge thing and well commonly known stuff, right? So I left myself off there, ego out of it. But definitely a lot of my knowledge comes from starting dogs one way, shape, or form in this fashion, or having the knowledge of guys starting dogs in this way, shape, or form, and fashion. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and let me know if you guys want me to do a video on any one of these, and I'll try to sit down and do a video on it, because I've started dogs a handful of ways out of this list, and like I said, I have a lot of method that I use to start dogs has pulled from a lot of this stuff and kind of implemented it here, there, whether or not. Like I said, guys, keep them treed. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to use the promo code at dogtra.com. Don't forget to shoot me an email. Don't forget to join the Facebook groups. And don't forget to drop a comment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Keep them treed.